Hey guys, this is Amoni Adamsi. It's time for me to give out my full thoughts on 2023. This time, I'm gonna head into more detail to make the video longer than my other 2-year reviews. My review on 2021 was kind of bad looking back at it because I didn't go into much detail on what I did in the year, like my growing anticipation for the Mitchells vs. the Machines, me watching Nancy Drew for the first time online, and me getting more into the MCU. There are some things I also did not mention in my 2022 review, like me getting sick on March 6th and December 5th and having to stay home from school on December 6th, the releases of the trailers for the Super Mario Bros. Movie, me going to a pumpkin patch on October 29th, and how there were more people in my screening for Puss in Boots: The Last Wish than any other movie I saw in 2022. The best theatrical experience I had in 2022 was with that movie. Anyway, let's start. On December 31st, 2022, I watched Turning Red for the 4th time on Blu-ray. I got my copy on the 22nd. I could have rewatched The Simpsons movie as I usually do on New Year's Eve, but the only device I had access to Disney Plus on was not in my house at the time. As usual, January was nothing special, but a bit better than January last year. On New Year's, I went to Walmart and got Encanto and DC League of Super Pets on Blu-ray. I was supposed to get Vivo on Blu-ray, but the store had no copies of it, so I got Encanto instead. After that, I got Food from El Pollo Loco and rewatched both movies. On the 5th, I got a headache and it gave me trouble sleeping, so I had a few cups of tea. I also made my most popular video, Ricky Barrick intro reversed, private, since I didn't like how popular it was anymore due to YouTube shoving SpongeBob theme song videos into the video suggestion sections of all my other videos. This is the main reason why I hate this section. Whenever videos from YouTubers get over 1,000 views, YouTube keeps shoving videos related to them in the video suggestion sections of every other video from that user. They did this with some of my videos, such as my end credits videos of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, The Lorax, and Pixels, my 1-second videos, my upload of the opening logos of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, my Just Saw video on the movie, which I later made private, and my KCA 2023 voting video. To censor the videos that YouTube keeps leaving behind, I set them to not interested or don't recommend channel. It's basically the equivalent of picking up dog poop. Because of that dumb section, and also the ads on the site, I usually watch YouTube videos on Google Slides. Throughout January, I got more and more outraged at how I didn't have Vivo in my physical media collection until the 31st, when I finally got the movie on Blu-ray after 5 months along with Big Hero 6. As I said in my 2022 review, Vivo was announced to be getting a home media release for August 9th. After my success with getting The Bad Guys on day 1, I assumed that getting Vivo would be just as easy, but I ended up struggling. Mr. Akrazi got the movie along with a load of other physical media for his birthday. John Wick and Beavis and Butthead FTW the Emoji Movie FTL got the movie. Rachel Persley aka Alpha Pig Productions and JH Movie Collection got the movie for their birthdays. It just really pissed me off to hell. I will get physical media more frequently in the future. February was good, but the second day of that month was absolute garbage and one of the worst days of the year. I really don't want to get into why I hate that day so much. February 3rd was trash as well, but slightly better. I rewatched Vivo and Big Hero 6 on my newly bought copies. On February 8th, Disney announced Toy Story 5, Frozen 3, and Zootopia 2. I am in no way excited for Toy Story 5. It is going to be the most unnecessary Pixar movie ever. The 4th movie ended perfectly with Woody deciding to stay at the carnival with Bo Peep, so there is no reason to continue from there. Will I see Toy Story 5 in theaters? Maybe. After this, they better not make any more Toy Story movies, spin-off or not. Frozen 3 I'm gonna see, same with Zootopia 2. However, I'm more excited for Inside Out 2 than all of them. On February 11th, I got Spider-Man: No Way Home on Blu-ray and watched the movie for the second time. On the 16th, I played Super Smash Bros. Ultimate in my school's gym. Here's the video I recorded there.
his Mewtwo just went level 9.
Oh, he's a level 9?
Man just turned into a level 9.
Damn, I just went out. Oh.
I'm pretty sure, I think the robots are adapted. Like, sometimes they be playing like ass and then they get...
Yeah. Wait, hold on.
Let's get into the best day of the month, the 17th. I went to Chuck E. Cheese for the first time since December 1st, 2018, and I celebrated one of my sister's friend's birthday there. I ate pizza, played games, took photos, and recorded videos. Here are the 2 videos I recorded at Chuck E. Cheese. I will only be showing the first 15 seconds of the first video.
Let's get our ears ready and wiggle our ears. You guys are awesome. And guess what? It's almost showtime. In fact, there's only 10 seconds left. Count down with me from 10. 10, 9, 8.
Overall, I had a fun time. On March 4th, I watched the Kids' Choice Awards, like I do every year. Now, let's get into the highlight of the year for me, which is my extreme anticipation for the Super Mario Bros. Movie. On March 9th, the final trailer for the movie came out and it made me much more excited for the movie than I already was. In fact, it became my most anticipated movie of all time. Yep, I was more excited for the Mario movie than Across the Spider-Verse. On Mario Day, I began a 26-day event called Countdown to the Super Mario Bros. Movie. During the event, I uploaded episodes of my unreleased Mario series, TV spots and promos for the Mario movie, and gameplays of Mario games. Every time I saw TV spots for the movie, it got me more hyped for it. I had not reached that level of anticipation for a movie since The Mitchells vs. the Machines. I knew it was going to be the best Illumination movie and the best video game adaptation. I even had a dream where I went to see the movie. On April 1st, I got Puss in Boots: The Last Wish on Blu-ray and watched the movie for the second time. At Walmart, I wanted to get Lightyear along with Puss in Boots, but I could only choose one movie, so I went with the latter. However, my copy had kind of a bad condition with a crack in the upper part of the case and the Movies Anywhere code gone, as if the copy came pre-owned. So on May 14th, I decided to return it to Walmart, but it was too late for me to do at that point, so I got rid of it. Not in the give to charity kind of way. If you're guessing that I tossed it in the you know what, you're right, but I also did more than just that. I'm sparing the DVD though. I now regret getting Puss in Boots: The Last Wish instead of a movie I have not rewatched since I saw it in theaters. On April 4th, while watching The Grinch as part of an Illumination marathon leading up to the Mario movie, I found out that critics had slammed the movie, giving it a 59% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 46 on Metacritic. It could have become one of the highest-rated video game adaptations if those idiots actually knew how to enjoy it and didn't make a big deal about its story and character development. In December, I used the Inspect tool to make fun of the critics and give the movie a score it deserves. Here's a picture. Of course, the stupid critic reviews did not affect my plans to see the movie in any way, nor did they make me any less excited about it. That day, before the reviews came in, I called my friend Javier Corona Lopez and talked to him about how excited I was for the movie. After seeing the reviews, I called him again about them. On April 5th, the Super Mario Bros. Movie finally came out, but I had to wait until next weekend to check it out while also avoiding spoilers. As someone who was overwhelmingly hyped for the movie, I couldn't wait that long. I may not have been able to see the movie on opening day, but I did get a Mario movie poster. The next day, I went back to Six Flags and stayed at a hotel. On the way there, I rewatched Puss in Boots: The Last Wish in Vivo on my portable DVD player. Javier got to see the Mario movie, and it made me jealous. I also got jealous of him when he saw Encanto in theaters back on November 26, 2021. I had not gone to Harkins to see a movie since Spies in Disguise on December 28, 2019, So hearing my friend return to the movies after 2 years really got to me. Luckily, I made my return to Harkins to see Encanto on December 11, 2021. Throughout my trip, I couldn't take my mind off the Mario movie. On the way back home, I rewatched Spies in Disguise. While waiting for the day I see the Mario movie, I watched every episode of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends for the fourth and possibly final time for now, starting on April 9th. Foster's Home is still my favorite Cartoon Network show. Screw WBD for removing that show from HBO Max. That company deserves to perish. Them removing the show from the service has to be one of the worst things the company has done in my opinion. I finished the show on April 14th. Just one day before I finally got to see the Mario movie. After seeing the Mario movie on April 15th at 5:50 p.m., I freaking loved it. I had a blast. It just did not disappoint at all. I did overpraise the movie after seeing it though. In the live chat section of Frozen Things Studios' review on the movie, I posted many comments on how much I enjoyed the movie. I deleted every single comment I left in that section soon after. My favorite part of the movie is the Rainbow Road scene. I also wore my Mario shirt to the movie, just as I said I would do. Before going into my screening for the movie, I saw that they held a private showing of the movie for someone's birthday. I went in to watch the last minute of the end credits and left before the post-credits scene started. Seeing the Mario movie made April 15th my favorite day of the year. Another thing that happened in April was me leaving Encyclopedia SpongeBobia. ESP used to be my favorite wiki. I remember visiting it almost every day to leave comments, contribute to articles, and participate in deletion, merge, separation and restoration requests, and sometimes proposals. But in 2020, I started facing some stupidity at the wiki like my Pepper Splay page getting deleted, Emily H returns reverting my edit on the Jitters page, pages being unfairly nominated for deletion, the amount of heat I caused when I stupidly made a second merge request for the plate fish from the episode Buried in Time, and article comments being disabled. In 2023 or probably last year, the wiki got hit by a flood of deletion requests for unused and underused templates and it showed no signs of ending. I got extremely annoyed by it, and on April 25th, I finally snapped. I left a furious message on the deletion request for some template called Portal and took a year-long hiatus from ESB. I was planning to return on April 25, 2024, but the crap I faced at the wiki in 2020, the terrible comments sections for the hide and then what happens and Vincent Waller pages and people trashing on good episodes like Artist Unknown and SpongeBob's Big Birthday blowout in the comment sections of those episodes pages made me extend my break from the wiki indefinitely. I'm even thinking of retiring from ESP since I just can't take its stupidity anymore. It is also no longer my favorite wiki. That now goes to the Audio-Visual Identity Database. Not only that, it's also off my list of favorite wikis. If you don't know what Avid is, it's a wiki that covers on-screen logos, idents, and bumpers. No stupid stuff happens there, and that's one thing I like about it. I may not be a fan of ESP anymore, but hey, it's at least better than the stupid Disney wiki. Nothing much happened in May, except that I went to a birthday party on the 21st. May is also the start of one of the most annoying things I've ever had to deal with. I'll get into that later. I wanted summer break to start so badly because of the crap I faced at my school. On June 2nd, my summer break began and Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse came out. The next day, I went to a graduation party and stayed at a motel. On the way there, I rewatched Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse on my portable DVD player to prepare for the day I initially planned to see the sequel, June 10th. On that day, however, I was unable to see the movie due to another party I had to go to. This time, it was a birthday party. On the way there, I continued watching Spider-Man, No Way Home on my DVD player. While returning home from the motel on June 4th, I rewatched most of the movie and got breakfast from McDonald's. After the party, I stayed at my aunt's house and went to church with her. On June 12th, I got the Super Mario Bros. Movie on Blu-ray. On June 18th, I saw Elemental in theaters. I could have seen Across the Spider-Verse, but Elemental wasn't doing so well at the box office at the time, so I saw that movie instead. It was the first Pixar movie I didn't see on opening day since Cars 3. It's great that the movie didn't end up becoming a box office bomb like Lightyear did. Elemental was off to a rocky start in its first weekend, but positive word of mouth allowed it to make over twice as much money as Lightyear. The movie also had a rotten score on its first day on Rotten Tomatoes with a 57%, before it went up to 73%. I also liked the Carl's date short before the movie. On the day Elemental came out though, I read a trashy negative review on the short and it made me hate critics even more. Nothing much happened over June after that, except for Ruby Gilman, Teenage Kraken and Nimona coming out in theaters and on Netflix respectively on the 30th. Nimona was great, but I don't get what makes it better than The Mitchells vs. the Machines, which will always be my favorite Netflix movie. But Ruby Gilman? We'll get to that disappointing movie shortly. I also took walks and shot hoops in the park during my summer break. On July 4th, after a few failed attempts, I finally got to see Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse. I was thinking of putting Across the Spider-Verse aside again and seeing Ruby Gilman first since that movie crashed and burned at the box office on opening weekend, but I had been missing out on Across the Spider-Verse for a month, so I saw that movie instead, and I made the right choice. On the 18th, Ruby Gilman came to digital. I saw Mr. Acquisi's community post on the movie and heard that he hated it, which was not a good sign. After giving the movie a watch, I liked it at first and gave it a 7.5 out of 10, but then my thoughts gradually declined and I now give it a 4.5. This movie is a disappointing follow-up to Puss in Boots, The Last Wish and a waste of potential. One reason is that the movie crawls with cliches like the overly predictable villain twist. Speaking of which, Nerissa is just a terrible and generic villain. She's cute, but still. I'm glad I didn't see this movie in theaters now. Seeing that movie instead of Across the Spider-Verse would have been a decision to regret. As for Trolls Band Together, I skipped that one not only because I had a better movie to see in November, but also because I was disappointed with Ruby Gilman. DreamWorks went from destroying Disney last year to giving us a poor man's Luca and Turning Red. Speaking of Luca, a user named Figueroa's Edits made a poll on which was the better movie, Luca or Ruby Gilman. Most people went with Ruby, and that was just ridiculous, though not as much as people giving Puss in Boots, The Last Wish more votes than Into the Spider-Verse on another poll by the user. Like what the hell? His audience probably consists almost entirely of DreamWorks fanboys I guess. Don't get me wrong, I like Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, but is it better than Spider-Verse? No. Into the Spider-Verse will always be better than The Last Wish. Also, how the hell did Ruby Gilman get a higher score than the Super Mario Bros. Movie? This is straight up bullcrap. Ruby Gilman is the one that really deserves a rotten score, not the Mario movie. On July 26th, I went back to Chuck E. Cheese, where I ate pizza and played games. Here is the video I recorded at the restaurant. Earlier that day, I rewatched my favorite Maya and Miguel episode, surprise surprise, on KLCS 2 at 5 a.m. Great way to prepare for Chuck E. Cheese. 2 days later, I watched the Miraculous movie on Netflix. The trailer got me a bit interested, so I decided to watch it even though I had never seen the show. On July 23rd, I started watching the show on Disney Channel to prepare for the movie. This month, I also stopped watching episodes of The Loud House from season 5 onward after watching the episode Lynn and Order on the 27th, due to how formulaic the show has gotten and how much of a jackass they turned Chandler into. The show lost all of its charm when the 5th season dropped, something I failed to notice right away. The last episode I watched when it premiered was Road Trip, Hide and Sneak, and the only episode from season 5 onward that I still watch is Glory Days. I'm only sticking to the first 4 seasons. I used to hate season 1 because it had the most awful episodes out of any season of the show, including my least favorite episode, The Greenhouse, but looking back at season 1, it's actually not that bad. It's just the first half of the season that's terrible. Most of the bad episodes from season 1 are from the first half of it. As of the time this video was posted, the show has not been renewed for an 8th season, so season 7 better be the last. Similarly, I don't watch many episodes from seasons 6 and 7 of SpongeBob. The show underwent a huge decline in quality with those seasons, something I did not notice when I was younger. I also don't watch either of SpongeBob's spin-off shows, Camp Coral and The Patrick Star Show. I only stick to the original series. On August 6th, I saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem in theaters at 3:25 p.m. and it was an awesome movie. A first look was unveiled as the Kids' Choice Awards on March 4th and the teaser trailer was released 2 days later. I was thinking of waiting until the movie came out on digital platforms, but then the official trailer came out in May and it really piqued my interest. Seeing this movie was a great way to end my summer break. School resumed on August 9th and it was a complete pain for me. Overall, my summer break was good, but frustratingly, I didn't get to go back to the beach for the second time in a row. It was better than last year's summer, which is my second least favorite behind summer 2020. I went to a baby shower on the 13th and my school's Orange Cella dance on the 25th. The Ultimate Game Squad truck came, and inside, I played Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. On September 9th, I saw Barbie in theaters at 3:20 p.m. I was originally going to skip it, but after hearing good things about it, I decided to go see it. Aside from me getting across the Spider-Verse on the 16th, nothing good happened in September after that. I also started watching Monster High, the show from last year. I watched the first episode when it aired on Nickelodeon at 6:30 a.m. on Halloween last year, but I wouldn't start getting into it until September this year. That month, I would watch the show on Nick Jr. before going to school. I would then catch new episodes of the show starting in October. In December, I saw the season 1 finale. I have also been watching Plain Rock 124 videos every day after school. I've been watching his videos since 2017. The first video from him I watched was 50 Ways to Break a 3DS. He's an awesome YouTuber, but I don't watch his newest videos from July 2022 onward because it's annoying how much he yells in them. For example, in his MetaQuest Pro video, he raged at the time frame between the release of the headset and his video. Another example is at the end of his video, every back-to-school tech video, where he screamed about expulsion for being broke or something. I unliked 2 of his videos, every DK Oldies video and Board Smashing Girlfriend, because of this. This guy went from being funny to annoying. October sucked, even more than October last year. On the 7th, I went to the haunted homecoming dance at my school. It had not 1, but 2 game trucks, Ultimate Game Squad and a Level Up game truck, which also accompanied the birthday party I went to on October 8th last year. In Level Up, I played New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe for the first time, so now I have played all 5 of the New Super Mario Bros. Games. On the 15th, the day before Disney's centennial, I watched the premiere of Once Upon a Studio on ABC. Unfortunately, the short did not play before Wish in theaters. Then, on October 21st, I went to a pumpkin patch. On my way home, I watched the Ghost and Mally McGee episode All Shark No Bite. On my way home from the pumpkin patch on October 23, 2021, I rewatched the first episode of the show. One reason why I didn't like October is because of me having to deal with stupid school. The last good October I had was in 2021. From November 5th to 10th, I watched all 9 episodes of Maya and the 3 for the 4th time. On the 20th, my Thanksgiving break began. Over my break, I rewatched Turning Red and The Bad Guys on the 21st and 22nd, celebrated Thanksgiving, watched the 97th Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade on NBC, and saw Wish in theaters on the 24th. After watching Vale Scubum's video, Disney's Wish has a big problem, I decided to go into the movie with low expectations, hoping for it to not be another Ruby Gilman. However, I ended up liking it. Good movie, but it could have been so much better. The movie got a 48% on Rotten Tomatoes, making it the lowest-rated Disney Revival-era film and the first Walt Disney Animation Studios film to earn a Rotten certification on the site since Chicken Little. In fact, it's even lower than the Mario movie's score. The movie got trashed on for basically the same reason the Mario movie got trashed on. I expected it to get a fresh score since Disney's Revival-era films always get that kind of rating. With Strange World bombing and Wish receiving mixed reviews, I don't see a bright future for Disney Animation now. Their last big box office success was Frozen 2. Pixar, on the other hand, saw commercial success this year with Elemental, and Inside Out 2 should be their first box office hit since Toy Story 4. Critics have been slamming too many good movies this year and I'm sick of it. This is why I hate critics now. Back to Wish, while I enjoyed it, it's not as good as every other movie I saw in theaters this year, or other movies in the revival age like Wreck-It Ralph, Big Hero 6, Zootopia, Moana, Encanto, or even Ralph Breaks the Internet. Even Once Upon a Studio was better. My favorite song from Wish is Knowing What I Know Now. On the 25th and 26th, I went to birthday parties. The second party, to my surprise, had a game truck to go along with the party's video game theme. I played Sonic Mania inside the truck. On the 30th, The Bad Guys, A Very Bad Holiday came out on Netflix and I watched it. It was good, despite the atrocious low-quality animation and subpar voice acting. When the special was announced in November last year, I got excited for it. My hopes for the special was for it to have the same animation as the movie and the cast reprising their roles. Unfortunately, neither of those things happened. The special was produced by DreamWorks' television unit rather than the main studio, so of course, the animation is a huge downgrade from the movie, which had fantastic animation, and 0% of the original cast reprised their roles. They really need to do something about the animation of their TV output. I don't understand why they decided to produce the special at their television unit for Netflix rather than the main studio for NBC like the Trolls holiday specials. Also, since DreamWorks is moving away from animating their films in-house after 2024, I guess that means they'll phase out their proprietary software, Primo and Moonray. Anyway, Frozen 4 was announced in November. This happened less than a year after they announced the third movie, so I questioned why they would begin working on a fourth installment so soon, until I learned that it and Frozen 3 are two parts of one story. I'll go see Frozen 4 as well. Also, during November, my dumbass admin blocked me from signing into a lot of websites I go on to use for my videos. They blocked sites like Screencastify, Clipsm, Movely, Vimeo, X, and of course, Peltoon. This got me extremely pissed and it made me so permanently done with my stupid admin. They have set so many restrictions like enabling restricted mode, disabling the option to change profile pictures on Google, enabling the worst extension of all time, securely, disabling the option to create brand accounts, suspending my second channel in 2019, disabling the option to remove stuff from my web and download histories for some reason, untying me and Javier's YouTube channels from our school accounts and deleting them afterward in 2021, preventing me from signing into the Google website, and preventing me from viewing images on Google Maps on my Chromebook. They will never stop looking for ways to piss me off. The longer I went without access to the sites I usually go on, the more furious I got. What's next? The comment feature being removed from slideshows on Google Slides. My admin is one of the main reasons why I despise school with a flaming burning passion. It sucks having to browse the internet under an account created by my school district. But thankfully, the first two mentioned websites got unblocked later on. In my Spanish class, I had to record a video based on a scene from the book I read in class as my final assignment of the semester, and I couldn't do that without help from an editing software. Moving on to December. I went to another baby shower on December 9th. My Christmas break began on the 18th. Overall, the first semester of my 2023 to 2024 school year sucked, and I bet the second semester will suck too. After another 3 months of no Blu-ray collecting, I got Elemental on the 19th and Olaf's Frozen Adventure on the 20th. On the 23rd, after nearly 5 years, I returned to Las Vegas and stayed for 3 days. The last time I went there was on January 2, 2019. On the way there, I watched the Super Mario Bros. Movie, Elemental, and Olaf's Frozen Adventure. On my second day, I went to an aquarium, where I watched someone dressed as Santa Claus swim in one of the tanks, and a geyser show. On my third and final day, I went to M&M's World and got food from Del Taco. I also went to the buffet, where I ate bacon, mac and cheese, and pancakes. On the way back home, I watched Turning Red and Big Hero 6, and ate at a Chinese restaurant. Overall, despite some stupid stuff, 2023 was a good year. I give it the 7.5 out of 10. The negatives. First, the worst days of the year are February 2nd, June 7th, and October 18th. Second, my neighbor's stupid loud-ass dog making noise almost every day, starting probably around the end of April. I thought it was just some lost dog, until I looked over my neighbor's fence and found out it was their dog who was making the noise. The dog kept barking and whimpering because it was locked out of the house with no one to take care of it. I got to the point where I started telling it to shut up and cussing it out. I've been trying to get this bastard to shut up for 7 months and it just won't listen. This is like that problem I had from August 2021 to January 2023 where crickets kept coming into my house somehow, going into tight spaces, and chirping in them. My goal was to fix that problem before my 2022 summer break began, and I did, but then they started coming into my house again in October that year. I had to place tape and a metal rod between some small spaces to keep them out of there. The dog cried a lot louder in the first 2 months. It was more peaceful before that lowlife of an animal started living next to me, and it felt so satisfying not being able to hear it while I was in Las Vegas. Third, school. Enough said. My third period class, literature, is the worst one of the school year. As if things couldn't get worse, after a month in my first period class, physics, I got moved to a much dumber physics class with annoying classmates. It felt like I moved down a bunch of grades. If I end up in one more idiotic class next school year, I'm gonna lose it. Fourth, the writers and actors strikes. The actors' strike is much worse because it was basically the next COVID-19, causing the delay of movies like Spider-Man, Beyond the Spider-Verse, the SpongeBob movie, Search for SquarePants, and Elio, and, combined with the writers' strike, the loss of 45,000 jobs and $6.5 billion from the Southern California economy. I'm okay with Beyond the Spider-Verse being delayed because they can take their time to make it an epic finale to the Spider-Verse saga. Phil Lord and Chris Miller just better not overwork the animators again. My prediction is that the movie will come out in June 2026. The writers' strike ended on September 27th and the actors' strike ended on November 9th. Fifth, Warner Bros. Discovery continuing its idiotic ways with removing more shows from Max, forcing Cartoon Network's studio to move from its longtime headquarters in Burbank, shelving Coyote vs. Acme, and considering merging with Paramount Global. WBD reversed their decision to cancel Coyote vs. Acme shortly after and the movie was shopped to other distributors. I honestly couldn't care less about this movie because I lost interest in the Warner Animation Group. They just don't put effort into their movies anymore. The first movie from them I saw in theaters was DC League of Super Pets, and I'm not gonna see another movie from them until they start making genuinely good movies again. The worst thing WBD did this year was, like I said earlier in the review, removing Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends from HBO Max. Watching every episode of the show has sort of become a tradition for me. On April 12, 2020, I was looking for a show to watch on Hulu and I came across Foster's Home, so I decided to watch it. I watched every episode on Hulu again starting on June 13, 2021, and for the third time on HBO Max starting on April 10, 2022. Thanks to David Zaslav's stupid decisions, WBD now has a 60% probability of bankruptcy. You know what would be a W for this company? Firing Zaslav once and for all. He's the reason why WBD is in this state. I have one more thing to say before I end this video. I'm not too excited for summer break next year because my previous 2 summer breaks were nothing too special. The only thing I'm looking forward to next summer is Inside Out 2, which I want to see on the day it comes out, my birthday. I also don't have any hopes of going back to the beach next summer. The last time I went there was on July 10, 2021. Not only that, but I didn't get to go swimming at all this year. This is the first time since 2016 that this happened. In 2015 and on July 5, 2018, I went to Drop Zone Water Park, and on June 2, 2017, June 13, 2019, July 31, 2020, and July 10, 2021, I went to the beach. When I went to that hotel on September 3, 2022, I went for a swim at the pool. The last time I went to Drop Zone was 3 days after I got a new copy of Super Paper Mario. If I don't go back to the beach or the water park this summer, I'm not gonna be surprised. That's all I have to say. Have a happy new year, and I'll see you guys later.